Okay, so we're streaming. Let's check that we're streaming correctly. We'll go to Twitch. Yep, looks like we're streaming correctly. Okay, we'll funny delay. Okay, yep, and so we can go to NColony. Okay, funny delay. Okay. So we can and go to NColony. We're gonna close Twitch, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go to NColony, and Mark Williams has kindly reviewed a couple of updates we made, and so we're going here. This is an interesting one, I think, and looks like we have an update for docs running.rest that doesn't belong here. That is not good. Okay. Let's just open a new terminal. Here we go. Maximize that. And we can go to source NColony. Here we are. So I usually have this set up in everything I work in. Nice little virtual environment. Some people use virtual and wrapper. I'm kind of warming up to that, but I haven't really internalized that, so we'll use this for now. Okay, and let's look at our branches. Oh, and look at this, we're already on the right branch. So yeah, this shouldn't have happened. So let's first make sure that we're up to date. And we'll rebase on master, and of course we have a merge failure. Mark also kindly has merged a lot of things that he thought could be just merged. So there's been a lot of changes. That's fine, nothing to worry about. Let's resolve the little conflict here. Here you are, a little conflict. Yeah. So yeah, so we moved that. Yeah, so you notice that return is outside the conflicted area. Let's return. Oh, frig! This is a big conflict. Woohoo! Okay, now this is small conflict. Okay, let's first deal with this little conflict. So you'll notice that here return underscore check and not a partial. So we will delete this, and delete this. And that's how we want it. Okay. Yes, this is good. Now I think we want this line because it was to and we can kill the print. Oh god, this is bad. Okay, and ploop ploop. Okay, and now we have resolved the conflict, so we don't have any conflict markers. And here I kind of, had valid guesses, but this is not a big deal because anyway we'll be running tests, so you need to make a first approximation that makes sense. Yep. So it's really easy to get confused when you're resolving conflicts. All your Git instincts are wrong. What you want to do is add that and then you want to do base continue and not commit or anything else. Git is funny. Okay, and we have another conflict that is to be expected. Same file. Let's look at this. Okay. Yeah, did I change the name? Why did I change the name? Ah, yes. Now I remember why I changed the name. I changed the name because then if we get an exception in this little guy, then we know what name. And you notice that I moved from to use the path API rather than some other things. Choop choop. Check conf. Okay. Here we go. Okay. And so this is good. This is very, very good. Okay. And once again, add this and continue. Okay. So now we'll kind of run first level unit tests just to kind of make sure that we haven't screwed up anything too badly, because it was reasonably complicated merge. And it's taking some time, so what can I introduce? Okay, alright, interpreter not found. Yeah, PyEnv local 3.6.3. Are you sure I have PyEnv? No? I had PyEnv once upon a time. Okay. Did they have an obvious or something? Okay, this is all. Okay, PyEnv. Okay, nice. Okay, so PyEnv local 3.6.3, 3.6.1. Which one do I have? Yeah, I should probably have 3.6.3, but I'm not gonna bother with that. PyEnv, and then it should just work because Doc should just grab stuff out of PyEnv. No, of course not. That is interesting. Okay, is it like a new version? Let's see. By the way, if you see, you'll see that I have DevPI installed. We can talk about this maybe later if I have some time. I need to explain some more. Okay, that is not fun. Okay, so what we can do, this is kind of an ugly hack, but I do want to make sure that we manage to test it, so here we go. I think somehow this is a problem, like docs can't handle this docs PyEnv version for some reason, they're conflicting, and I don't like PyEnv, to be fair, but it is what it is. Okay, yay! Okay, so we haven't screwed up too badly, and I want to run the linter because we did resolve some linting related conflicts, and I really don't want to like find that I screwed up linting. So, hello linter. And kind of the linting stage for NColony is kind of hilariously funny. I made it more hilariously funny recently, maybe I'll talk about that. But I'm using Pylint, Flake 8 and a custom thing. Oh, here we go. Of course we have that. Okay. It looks like an unrelated change, but NColony client heart line 36. Okay. Interesting. Okay, config JSON. If config JSON is done. To be fair, this is kind of a bad API because it returns, but it is basically only used in maybe make heart, which is fine. So we can just make those explicit and then figure out why it is even here. Looks like we'll have a few changes to make, but first let's make sure that we actually pass linting and then figure out. And this is where the hilarity comes in. It runs Pylint, and if Pylint exceeds, it will run Flake 8. But if Pylint does not succeed, it does not run Flake 8. There are upsides and downsides to this approach. Okay, so this is reasonably straightforward. Let's commit this, and we'll probably have to take it out. So, okay, none. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, so the whole reason why I did this is so that this command would give us something reasonable. Oh god. Yeah, I obviously checked this in the wrong place. So I will add it to a patch. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of my branches here because I have way too many, because again, as I said, Mark merged a lot of things, so this means that a lot of branches are now obsolete. Okay, I'm not gonna try too hard to merge everything, but I am gonna do it a little bit just so I can have reasonable output to Git branch. Okay, I think and that's actually what we need to do anyway. Okay, and what happened was that we already had these changes on actually this guy. So I'm just gonna remove the patch. Oh, why did I do that? It's okay, I'll get it. Okay. Where were we? Oh, 14, right. Okay. Yeah, then after rebase you have to force push. Not much we can do about it. Some people don't like rebase. Okay, we hit the patch, and now we'll undo the patch. I think that was one of only 2 comments he had. And now we can remove the patch for it. Okay, good. And I think he had like stylistic issue with the I ran tests. Right, so let's see, NColony test service. Where are we? And what did he say? He said related to line 237. Lines move a little bit, so yeah, he's right that I really should deal with that. So I can actually reverse that. with temp file. So let's all look at the documentation of temp file, because of course nobody can remember. We had a recent discussion about that on Twitter, that you can use something for like ever and ever and still not remember how to use it. That's fine. You look at the documentation, that's why it's there. If you need to look at the documentation, please do not feel bad about it. Just friggin' Google, or big leaf and use dash or whatever it is it uses. Okay, so we'll do that. Messages, mkd temp, and do I show util? Yes. I think this needs to be removed its own function. Because I don't need reactors and stuff like that right now, but I do want this bit, so we will just make it into its own little function. Def make gears, and it takes a test case as an argument, and I'll show you why. 3, 4. And it will return on the test dears. So the way to call it will be to do self dears equals make dears Why do I need the self? I need for the cleanup. So here we'll delete this and move it here, and we need to dent. And honestly, it's better if we, instead of, yeah, that's fine, like we probably should check. But instead of doing that, oh dear, and you'll notice that I do test case dot add cleanup before I create a temporary file. Here we go, under cleanup, and that's fine because I check for the existence. But this way, even if I add accidentally things in the middle here, I am guaranteed, right? If I did it the other way and I added things in the middle here, then potentially they would raise an exception and I would get to the add cleanup. By doing that, I make sure that it is future proof, even if someone who's not me added it. Okay, and now we do config remember, this is what we're returning. So test dirs equals dict config maps to it's much better than using CWD. Name, because join the dir name for name in. We will break a line here. Here we go. And now this doesn't make the directories, but we can map for you notice I'm using values for 3.6 2.7 compatibility. They do slightly different things, but in this case it just doesn't matter. There's like literally 2 of them creating an extra list of size 2. Just not a big deal, man. Okay, so now that we have that, then this is good. And I think I need to align here. Okay, so make this. That's a stupid name. Test this. Okay, and so self-test years equals underscore make and it takes self as an argument for the cleanup. Okay, that's good. And what we do here is we simply and elegantly do the test here of okay. Config. Okay, good. We do need to fix the tests here to save, but it's anyway near it better, so that's okay. tube. Okay, let's run the tests again. Here we go. So we have a little syntax error, do we? Indeed, that's a syntax error. I forgot to remove a little bit, one character. That is fine. And 78 cleanup. Would do. Yeah, the problem is not that. The problem is that this is not self. This is temp file, of course. Otherwise, why would I add? So that's the problem. The problem is if there is an exception sometimes. MK test years. Okay, let's see how we call that. Test years. Make test years. I was smarter about naming it than I was about calling it. Wonderful, we have dealt with Mark's comment and we have made the tests nicer and more elegant. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so address Mark comments, move. Let's look at the whole diff just to make sure we describe it accurately. Yeah. Git commit, address, Mark, comments. Twirl is actually very nice about current directory, but it is kind of bad practice too. Okay, so let's see. Let's look again at this. And this is outdated, right? That's good. That means that we have actually fixed it. And but you'll notice that we added the heart thing. Heart is pretty bad. So why isn't it failing on master? Okay, so let's check out master. And let's check NColony client heart. Make service. Does return talks -e. I think I know why. currently the official lint I'm running is 2.7 based. I do need to move it forward to 3.6. Okay, so this is bad. Right, and we can check why it's like that. Okay, so what are we looking for? We want to look at the version of PyLint. Where are you, PyLint? PyLint is 181 here. Now, if we go to Travis CI, and we look at NColony, you see, oh, very weird. Okay, so why is NColony branches? Let's look at the master. Come on, master. That is not good. And I am guessing it feels exactly that way, right? Oh man. And which plugin do we have here? So Travis caches, so it's always kind of a... Honestly, we really should PyLint 175. So I think we'll do pin PyLint because this has happened a few times. So we'll make a branch called pin PyLint. Pin PyLint, we will and really we should, kind of make sure that we kind of update, but pinning PyLint makes more sense than not pinning PyLint because they really do add new warnings every time. And like the problem is that you suddenly had a build that was fine and now it's not fine. And that is not a good, right? Like ideally we should pin everything, but that takes a lot of work. Yes. Of course, when you pin, you should actually use the correct syntax here. Right here. So what do you think, dear viewers? Here we get return inconsistent return statements. Do we get any more? Okay, so that is indeed a bad API. We're lucky that usually we use it with maybe add hard and we don't call make service directly. And what we really should have done is made it a private function, but I don't think I was very clear about what should be a public and private API here, so that's bad. But well, mistake of the past, we should really fix it. Okay. and we'll open a new pull request. We pin pilot to the current latest. And we'll actually ask Mark to review. He's very kind and he's a great reviewer. And we should push with -0. Okay, and now we again git checkout 49. And at this point, I am perfectly happy. That'll get fixed when we rebase on master. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna preempt the question and say here on the file change. This should not be a part of the div, but it does get it to success. Build once we add pilot and rebase, this div will go away. Okay, and this is not a review, just so when Mark reviews, he understands where we're coming from. Okay, so this is good. And I think we can dismiss his review, which is kind of horrible. It's a semantic addressed all comments. Dismiss review. It really should be resolve review. It's not dismiss. I'm not dismissing anything here, but this is a semantics that GitHub has to kind of indicate that I would like a review. Okay, so that is good. And now we go to git checkout. Instructions. And he is right. I think that's the only mistake. I was kind of using a little bit of a jargon instead of just using regular words. Okay. And yes, I really should have added Mark to the contributor a long time ago. Stop using silly jargon. Git push. Here we go. Show updated. No, nothing to add here. We're very happy to add markers here, of course. Dismiss review, addressed all comments. Dismiss. Okay. We're in actually a pretty good state. You notice that the pull requests, we have a lot of new closed pull requests. Mark also opened a bunch of issues which we really should deal with, but I think I've run out the clock on this thing. Anyway, it's okay if these builds fail for lint errors. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Really, we should first spin Python before we do anything about these. Okay, so this is it. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night. And we will stop streaming.